What is up, San Francisco?
We're in San Francisco now?
Where are we?
I mean, we're over here.
What's going on now?
I don't know, but wherever we are, we're not over there.
Look, right off the bat, I just want you to know that Nate is here. Looking forward to this.
Woohoo!
Me too, man. Me too. Welcome, Nate.
Hey,
Always
Nate.
showing up. We love it.
Hey, how
We
you
love
doing?
when Nate shows up.
Oh, I'm going to adjust something on my computer so I can...
Oh, please. Oh, you can't comment? Oh, Jesus. Look at him go right in front of the screen. Just look at him. Look at JD. He even moves my camera, which is nice.
I did not.
You didn't? Oh, that's yours. There we go. Look how nice I look. All right, let's get back to the nitty gritty, shall we?
Look, I can see Nate. He's looking forward to this.
He is looking forward to this. Thank you, Nate. We appreciate the support and love. And
I feel like we should just buy Nate lunch one day.
You know what? I'll buy him lunch. Yeah. What do you think I should get him?
Well, we're New Yorkers, so the option is always pizza.
Yeah, tacos. That's really the way to go. All right.
Racist.
So today we decided we wanted to talk about something very interesting, right? To us, what's interesting to us.
Well, I feel like most of the things we talk about are interesting to us, except for that one thing.
Wait, what thing?
Exactly.
Did you look? Don't make me start asking you questions. Look, we want to talk about how to earn the right to push your creative products. When is paying for advertisement worth it? Now, you've heard us say numerous times, that you have to basically. There's the rule of thumb is 10,000 fans, and now that's a big number, right? Woo! Look at that big number. It's scary. You don't want to play with it, right? And I'm gonna go, but food. I'm gonna go buy food and be back later. All right, take your time. We'll be here all day. All right. Let's call it a night. Now,
Nate left, we're gone.
So you need 10,000 fans, right? And that sounds like a big number. Ooh, Jesus, how do we get 10,000 fans? But we're going to explain the value of the 10,000 fans, which is also, if you could get 10% of that, that's 1,000. And there's a book, I think it's your first 1,000 or something. Saying, your first 1,000 fans, right? Right. So, I'm pulling it up. 1 second.
We're looking.
And so 1,000 True Fans is called by Kevin Kelly, right?
Ooh.
And ultimately what this book talks about is if you can, a true fan is somebody that has already become aware of you, is interested in you, and bought into your brand to the point where they want.
It's not that they've physically bought into it, but they've emotionally bought into it.
They emotionally bought into it. Yeah. And for example, if Metallica put out bobbly heads, a true fan's going to buy the bobbly heads because Metallica released it. Right. So they do have fans too, though. They have people that are like, oh, Metallica released bobbleheads. That's pretty funny, but I'm not going to buy that. They're still fans,
but they're not
true fans.
True fans.
So this book to sum it up, if you can get 1,000 true fans, basically anything you sell is a yearly salary. Because if I release an album, right, and it's $10 an album. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I sell it for 18 and I make 10 on it. I just made 10 grand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For 1,000 copies. So if you sell your CD to your 1,000 true fans, you sell a shirt to your 1,000 true fans. You just made 20 grand for the year.
You made about 30 because her shirts. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I'm adding a small increase. Like if you buy a shirt for 15, you just pay.
Well, normally you'd buy it for like 20.
What?
Yeah, shirts are like $20, band T-shirts.
Maybe for you. Oh, I'm talking as the see, the artist is talking already. I'm talking from a business perspective. Yeah, I'm not spending $20 a shirt.
No. I know when your fans buy for $20.
I got you.
It costs roughly about $4 or $5.
First of all, if you have the audacity, JD, to sell a shirt for $20 to a fan, you are a jackass.
So you're saying that every band that
no, not every band. You.
Me.
And why you?
Well, I don't have a big enough brand value.
That's right. You don't have your 10,000 fans or 1,000 true fans, which means you're.
But we were talking about the 1,000 true fans.
Well, no. I'm talking about just in general selling shirts. And then you have convoluted the conversation by talking about how much it costs to buy a shirt. You're choosing to sell your shirts for $20, which is insane, by the way. Okay, for somebody that's
so for someone that has 1,000 true fans, how much do they sell their shirt for?
Well, can we talk about the business side first?
Sure.
And all right, I have to answer this question for JD because he's trying to prove a point. However, is 1,000 fans 10,000 fans?
No.
No. The book is suggesting if you have 1,000 fans, true fans, you can make a livable wage on that. Okay. But you don't have 10,000 true fans. So my theory still stands true. How much does it cost? Yes, you were. You were saying that you sell a shirt for $20, and I say that would be ridiculous. And you go, but I have 1,000 true fans.
No, I didn't say me.
All right,
I
JD.
said for someone who did.
Oh,
have
for
1,000.
someone.
I never used me as an example.
But that's still a contradiction because that's not what I'm talking about.
Then
1,000 true fans is not 10,000 fans.
Correct.
So get that out of your head.
I did not say that either.
All right, then why did you use it? Well, they have 1,000 fans.
Because I was trying to figure out the math that you were coming up with.
Well, you were thinking selling the shirt. I was thinking of buying the shirt as a business.
So that'll cost you roughly $3 to $5.
Well, it depends. Are you going through what you call it? What's like a
sign language?
Like a push to buy or the click to buy?
Oh yeah, the
because now you're only making $3.
Print on demand.
Print on demand, you might make $3, right? But also, did you say $5 a shirt?
No, I said if you were to like buy them like in bulk from like somewhere.
Let's say you bought a gross
between $3 and $5, depending on what you're getting done, how many colors you have.
How many colors? All right, okay.
So that's why I said $3 to $5.
$3 to $5.
I just rounded up to give
us. Right. And you're gonna sell the shirt for $20.
Yes.
All right. Whoever's listening to this, please do not, for the love of God, sell your stupid shirts for $20.
Okay.
Why?
I don't know.
Because no one wants them. So what's the point of buying a marketing product if no one's going to buy it except for your stupid mother and father and your stupid friends?
But are we talking about people who don't have any brand yet, or people who have 1,000 true fans?
Even is 1,000 true fans 10,000 true fans?
It is not.
So what's the rule, JD?
10,000.
10,000. So if you have 9,000 true fans, can you sell your shirts for $20?
Yeah.
Why not, JD?
Because you don't have 10,000.
So how many you need?
But I think we're getting away from the original thing that we were talking about, which was this guy right here.
This guy cannot sell a shirt for $20 because then they are what? A jackass. Why?
Because they have 1,000 and not 10,000.
That's right. Because what's the rule?
10,000.
How many people do you need?
10,000.
If you had 10,000 fans, you could sell a shirt for $100.
Well, that just makes you a jackass.
No, it doesn't, because you want it. That's why when you go to a Dream Theater show and you want the best possible ticket, you pay $250. Why? Because you get to sit in the front, then you get to meet the band, then you get a shirt with meeting the band and a signed CD and a stupid fucking photo. 10,000 fans gives you that right. Because it's supply and demand. But you're confusing 1,000 fans with 10,000 fans.
That was not what I was talking about.
Then what are you doing?
I was doing
Explain it right now and then hit the bell.
I was just simply doing the math for 1,000.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to make a point.
So what's $20 have to do with anything with 1,000 fans?
You were saying you can make a livable wage off.
You can make a livable wage.
Can I finish my sentence? I didn't hit the bell. I was saying you can make a livable. You were saying that he said you can make a livable wage off of 1,000.
Correct.
So I was doing the math for a CD and a shirt. That's it. I wasn't making a point. I was just doing math.
And how much are you selling the shirts in this scenario?
I was doing a rudimentary number, which I'd always seen at either shows or in stores for $20.
Okay. You're gonna hit the button.
Minus what it would cost if you were to get it printed up.
Okay. So
I was just doing math.
All right. But you were giving the wrong information to our audience. You were suggesting because you saw that people sell them for $20, that's the right way to do it.
No.
All right, then why were you using
math.
$20? Why would we use $20 when it has nothing to do with doing it properly?
Well, I guess my artist brain took over.
It absolutely did, because who has the right to sell it for $20?
People who have 10,000 fans.
Why?
Because they have 10,000 fans.
And what's the rule?
10,000 fans.
So when a stupid band that's local thinks they're the hottest thing since sliced bread, puts their shirt into a store for $20, is that should we as a less than 10,000 fans use that as our
Absolutely not.
Why not? You saw it, so you were using that number and then you were giving that as an example.
I was just doing math, was not trying to make a point or teach a lesson.
Well, that's the problem with just saying stuff.
Well, normally I just say stuff and then we go off of that and then you educate everybody.
Which I am doing right now. But going to a show, a local show,
you should just give yourself
away
for free.
You see a shirt for $20? Well, you shouldn't do that either. Supply and demand. What's supply and demand, JD?
If people demand it, you supply it.
That's right. If they don't want it, what do?
Throw it out, light it on fire, and then
give it away for free. So this is what you do. If you're a stupid band, okay, I keep saying that because If you don't have 10,000 fans and you're selling your shirt, you've really gone to local shows and they're selling their shirts for $20.
I've seen 20, I've seen 10, I've seen 5.
These are bands without 10,000 fans.
Yes.
That's insane. There's no demand for that supply.
Correct.
Anyway, you say, look, I bought the shirt for $5, $10. Double your money is not an insane thing. If you have a CD, right? What's it come out to if you buy 1,000 CDs? It's for the business, not if I buy somebody's CDs 1,000 times.
Oh, like if you were to like get it printed?
Yeah.
Last time I saw,
what's it come out to? What's a CD worth? Like the cost of a CD?
It probably would cost you, I'm gonna say, $1,500 to $2,000 for 1,000.
So
basically
each
like
CD is $1,500.
No. I'm saying for 1,000.
Yeah. How much is each CD?
Between $1 or $2.
All right, there we go. So how do we double that? Let's say it's $2, $5.
Done.
So we're gonna sell a shirt for 10, and the CD for 5. Right now, this is what you do at your table. You place it there. Right? You talk to people. You don't just do a show. You talk to people, then you do your show, and then you talk to people.
You build relationships.
You build relationships. If they like you and they want to deal with you, they're going to say, hey, how much are your shirts and CDs? You're going to say $10 for a shirt, $5 for the CD. They go, ooh, that's a little tight. And then you go, I'll tell you what. You buy the shirt, I'll throw in the CD for free. Now, at that point, you're going to break even because if the shirt costs $5, and the CD's $2, and you're only making $3. You're breaking even, right?
Yeah.
So
still in the green a little bit. By $2.
We call that throwaway money. Okay.
Listen, coffee is very important.
If you're well, now you're doing it wrong. Because if that $2 is buying your coffee, it's not affording the business.
It was a joke.
I know you were, but your joke before was that you believed that $20 is a good number.
I didn't say that.
You used it as the base.
I used it as a rudimentary example, going off of what that guy said.
You used it. Did you or did not you use it as your example?
I made a mistake. You're 100% correct.
I'm not saying you made a mistake. You chose that because that's what you know.
Correct.
So it's not a mistake as far as that's all you know.
That is correct.
But when I gave pushback, that was but there's 1,000 true fans, and I was like, that doesn't have anything to do with it. And he says, but he wrote it if you can make a living on that.
Yeah, again,
that has nothing to do with $20,
which had nothing to do with the fact that I was trying to make a point. I was literally just taking what he said and doing math for what he said, knowing what I know.
That's
I wasn't
insane
trying to make
math,
a point.
though.
It is insane math because I was going off of what I knew. It did not have facts.
Yeah,
and also it had nothing to do with the 10,000.
You know what?
Which is what we're talking about.
If you have 1,000 true fans and you're selling like lollipops, sell them for $1,000 each because then you're making a living.
Yeah, totally.
You could even sell a lollipop for $50, and if you have 1,000 true fans, they're gonna buy that. So you just made $50,000, right?
Yeah, and you don't have to work for a year.
I mean, that's just a rudimentary number that I came up with. I went to a show once, right?
I mean, I would totally.
The band, they stuck the lollipop in their hoo-has. This is a real thing.
I'm totally into this.
And then they would sell the lollipop. Do you know that?
No, but I'm totally in.
I think it was Butcher Babies. Don't you know them? What's the band that does like lesbian stuff on stage?
I have no idea.
It
definitely was not Butcher Babies.
All right. It was one of those crazy bands. Anyway, now that we completely went off track, thanks, Judy. This guy, let's just start over. This guy wrote a book called 1,000 True Fans. And basically, if you have 1,000 true fans, which again, to clarify,
is not 10,000 true fans.
All right, JD, keep going.
I was adding what I knew.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the narrative, but go ahead. What were you going to say?
That was it.
No, go ahead. You got this lesson.
No, that was.
No, go ahead. What else you got to say?
That was it. See?
Well, what? 1,000 true fans are not necessarily fans. Okay, fans are different than true fans. True fans will buy, like we said, if you're Metallica and you release bobbleheads, a true fan will buy that because it's a novelty. A fan might recognize it, have a reaction to it, but don't necessarily want to buy it or need to buy it. They would just be like, ooh, look, bobbleheads, that's stupid, right? That's because I'm a fan of Metallica and not a true fan. And I have said that for everything. But 1,000 true fans, you could ultimately make a living on that. So if you release if you're an actor and you're selling something as an actor, like let's say whatever, you're selling your movie, like you did a movie, even if it was an independent film, and you sell that movie for $5, that's $5,000, right? Just for that one movie. So now what else you got to sell? What else does an actor sell?
Well, I know that there's a bunch of female actors that have like makeup lines.
They have makeup lines. There you go. Makeup.
Like Lady Gaga specifically has her own thing that she developed.
Lady, she's a musician who has acted, right?
So wouldn't she also count as an actress? She's an entertainer.
She's an entertainer, correct. However, what she did was she used her music true fans and then went into the movies. And if you noticed, her draw to the movies was less than her draw for music because the people that followed her to the movies were her
true fans.
True fans. So she's allowed to do those kind of things because she has the supply and demand. Once you have the supply, once you have the demand, your job is now to supply them with content. Right. But before then, your job is to do your responsibilities with network market practice, manage your time, money, and people, create your entrepreneurial brain habits, things like that. However, so to explain, this guy wrote a book, 1,000 True Fans. You can survive on that. So using a band, if you have a shirt, you're going to sell the shirt for $10. You're really making $5 over that. It's $5,000. Then you sell the CD for $5, which is really making $3. That's another $3,000. That's $8,000 for just selling a product. This isn't even considering doing, let's say, 4 shows to get those 1,000 fans to see you, right? So if they're spending $20 at a ticket, which isn't unheard of, especially for a show, but let's just go with $10, depending on where you are. If you're producing the show, just do it for $10. You're going to make that $10, right? So what's $10 times 1,000?
10,000.
So you made 10,000 plus the 8,000. So you made $18,000 for your year. So play 4 shows, sell your stuff. Right. So if you budget yourself right, you can live on that or survive on that. So I talk about 10,000 fans because I was taught by people in the business of the industry of entertainment that if you have 10,000 fans, you have the right to do whatever you want. You can literally do what you want because the demand is so advanced. They just want what you have. And again, using those numbers, if somebody was like, I want your CD, and now you could charge a little bit more, but let's just say you still charge $5. What's 5 times 10 grand?
50 grand.
50 grand. So you don't even have to be greedy.
It's like, oh, look, it's right? Affordable for everybody.
Affordable for everybody, right? So that's the idea. Now, when it comes down to people and their ideas where they go, hey, I'm going to just do what I want. Let's advertise, right? The problem with advertisement is ultimately that you have to consistently advertise to maintain the integrity of the results.
And I'm guessing the reason behind that is because there isn't that organic attraction to your brand that people are just searching out for what you have. So in order to maintain it, you have to constantly be putting money into it to be in front of people's faces. Am I correct?
Yeah, because advertisement without your 10,000 true fans is basically a numbers game. So if enough people see it, they will buy it. But now you have to say to yourself, is the cost of advertisement worth the return? We had a client we worked with. They were spending about $5,000 a month on advertisement. So between Facebook, YouTube, and something else, Google, yeah. They were spending about $5,000, and then they were making about $3,000 at the end of the month.
On top of that,
so
they were making.
No, so they were making $3,000.
Oof.
Then
I misheard that conversation. I thought they were making like $7,000 and only earning $3,000.
Maybe that was that it.
Yeah, they
definitely, no, because they weren't.
Because I didn't think they were. When I heard it, or listened from the side, I thought they were not losing money, but it wasn't worth. They weren't doubling.
The percentage earned was not the percentage spent. Meaning
that's what it was.
Meaning, like, if I spend $1,000 and at the end of the day I made $300, the advertisement wasn't worth it. Because not only did I have to make the $1,000 for the advertisement, but then I only made $3,000, which means you made
300.
300.
So you spent $1,000, got back 1,300, but only were in the green 3.
And technically, you made 103% return on that,
which is not worth.
So even if you spend $10,000 and then at the end of the month you made $3,000, you still only made 103%.
130.
130? Oh yeah, because 300.
Yeah, because 500 would be 50.
Of 10 grand?
Oh no, you said 1,000.
No, I said 10 grand.
I thought then I misheard you. Apologize. Then yes, it would be 3.
Where are my rocks?
Check, please.
This is JD's last
Check,
show.
please.
Yeah. 10% of 1,000 would be $10. So just mathematically speaking, 10% of 10,000 would be $100.
Yes.
What the hell's going on here?
I don't know.
You feeling all right?
Maybe.
All right, the show's getting thrown off the rails here.
It's on a crazy train.
So what we're talking about today is, you have to earn the right to push your creative products. Once you have 10,000 true fans, you have earned the right to do the advertisement, to tell people, to create content. And the reason is, ultimately, once you have 10,000 true fans, they want to know when you have stuff. So you have to advertise. When Marvel advertises, the money they spend, they know they're getting back. Look at Endgame.
Oh my God, yeah.
Even look at Captain Marvel, which was like basically an unknown character coming to the screen, right? She was a female character, so yeah, women power was a part of the movement, but at the same time, she wasn't. She was even the new incarnation. Like I'm saying, like it just wasn't.
Captain Marvel was not the Incredible Hulk,
or more importantly, the Incredible Hulk isn't Spider-Man.
Oh yeah,
but still, with the Incredible Hulk, they marketed that movie and they made some money back, right? You gotta look at your choices, your career as a business, and ultimately, your job is to spend money on being able to live your brand's message truthfully. Now, what does that mean? Is that the same as advertising? No. If I have 10 grand to spend on my marketing campaign, what is it that I stand for? What are my ideals, my missions, my morals? What are things that matter to me? And how do I spend that money to allow me to be involved in that? Maybe I spend $1,000 to put together a theater show, like a local theater show associated with a foundation. Like, let's say I want to bring awareness to cancer. So I'll go, you know what? I can rent a local theater for a couple dollars, whatever, and you spend it and you do that show. And basically anything you do for that show are the flyers, you write down the foundation you're interested. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
By doing this, again, you have to consistently do this, and it doesn't seem right, but in the beginning, you're not spending money to make money. You're spending money to build your true fans. Because once you establish your true fans, now you will
earn the right.
Make money. That's right. You need the fanship to make the money.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if people don't want to buy stuff, well, I make this stuff.
But people think backwards. What is the way they think backwards,
They
Jenny?
think if you build it, they will come.
That's right. And give me an example.
An example of that would be, you have a local band that's just starting out. They're like, oh my God, let's be a band. And they're like, oh, let's make an album. And they'll just write an album, spend all this money recording an album, and they'll never have left their garage or their basement. And then they'll be like, why is no one coming to our shows or buying our album?
Yeah, exactly. Ultimately, a band or an actor or a writer or somebody that has a creative outlet, they think if I build it, they will come. If I build this, I will make money. But a thing does not generate money. Doing your job, which is ultimately a very small part of that, is building your brand reputation and people buying to that emotionally. That causes an awareness, which creates interest, that ultimately generates sales. So people buy into your brand's message. And that means they become a true fan. That true fan is going to buy your stuff. There's going to come a point where you have 10,000 true fans. And now you're like, I'm going to make a movie to make money. I'm going to make a CD to make money. Should you not do these things? No, that's not what I'm saying. It's just the mentality of it should be, I'm making this thing to practice, learn, bring people together, develop my business. If I work on this, I'll be able to network with people that I believe in. Therefore, I'm building my core team and getting people to know that I exist and what I do. So playing shows, making movies, writing books, all this is important if you utilize it as an avenue, not to make money, because you're not going to make money unless you have 10,000 true fans, but to build your business. And that ultimately means if I get involved in something, For example, if I want to be in the movie industry, I have to get involved in the movie industry. I'm working with people. I'm building and cultivating relationships. I'm branding myself. How do I work? What do I work on? What are things I care about? How do I hold
treat
myself?
the people you're working
How do
with?
I treat the people I'm working with? All these things are a part of this this adventure, this company brand building adventure. The other thing is you're learning how to manage your time, money, and the people around you. How are you articulating direction and delegating, but also saying, where do I step back to let people lead, and where do I take lead? You're learning all these traits as you develop opportunities. But more importantly, you need people to see your adventure in doing this, because what you're doing, people want to see you succeed. They don't want to
because they want to be able to relate to how you're feeling to the things. It's like they don't care what the thing is.
No. It's not that they want to relate to how you're feeling. They want to have empathy for themselves through you.
Empathy and relating are two different things.
That's right. Yeah. Relating is going, oh, I've done that before.
Yeah.
Empathy is, well, how does it make you feel that you've succeeded with so much? It's showing an interest to their feelings and not necessarily saying, I have also felt that.
I see the difference.
Yeah. One is upping and the other is actual interest. When that's not empathy. With sadness is being there to listen. What's making you sad? You can talk if you want, or we could just sit here. We could just sit here and just enjoy the silence. That's empathy. That's not, you're not trying to relate. You're allowing them to know that you're there for them.
And then you're saying that their feelings have validity.
Yeah, validity. Other big words.
Listen, I took my SATs at one point.
I barely passed mine.
Yeah, with a near perfect score.
I should have went to college.
Yeah, okay. You want to trade? I have some years that I could trade to.
God. If I could go back in time, I would have dropped out of high school at 16. Because everything I needed to know, I already knew before I was 16, but you could legally leave at 16. Because I knew what I wanted to do before I even got, people were pushing on me, you should be a therapist or a lawyer because you're really good at talking.
You do enjoy discussions.
Yeah, well,
and proving people wrong.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I live with a below average IQ.
Yeah.
A single day. Not everyone is as smart as Einstein. I have to live with a few points lower than this guy, and I feel stupid.
If you could go back in time knowing everything that you know right now,
how
do you feel you would, if you were to go back now at 16 and be able to drop out, knowing everything that you know now, how do you feel that your life would change? How
like having my emotional mental state of now back then?
Let's say you have the knowledge, but you still have 16-year-old you's ambition at that time.
Well, the problem is the emotional truth kept me from taking on the information because I knew what I had to do because I was being taught.
But you still were leading with artist brain.
Yeah, I had to wait until I was in my mid-20s before I was like, let me try something different.
Do you think that you would have...
I think all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very painful.
News to me.
This is my bag of rocks.
Do you think that you would have formed Tenebra knowing what you know now? Or would you...
I would have still formed Tenebra because I formed Tenebra out of necessity of my stories because Tenebra is really Dias de Tenebra, who is Telmor Naltanian, because he was originally the god of darkness, the void, everything and nothing at once, which is what Tenebra means in Latin, right? It means darkness, everything and nothing at once.
That's so metal.
Metal! And it's also the last day of the Sabbath for Catholics. But anyway, it's a ceremony. I would have still had it just because the artist in me creates things. But as far as how I would have done it, I definitely would have went a different route. I would have created such a brand that because again, the band's website was thegreatestband.com and it backfired because the original thing was it's supposed to be a play on words. A band is to band together, bringing people together, and it was supposed to be the greatest band.
And because you also said on the website you had a bunch of highlights for fellow bands.
Oh yeah, we had news for band. Originally, it was the landing page was news that was going on for bands that we were we believed in. That didn't really want to work with us in the same way we wanted to work with them because they weren't getting what we were doing, right? But they were like, thanks for putting our shows on your website. We're like, yeah, we're trying to support. We want to grow a team. And then their websites would have 0 links on them. They wouldn't even tell other people that other bands existed, right? And we were just trying to be the change we wanted to see. But the idea was the greatest band together. We wanted to, so the landing page had news on what was going on. Then it had like a link to BBR Productions, and then it had a link to Tenebra.
Gotcha.
That was basically what had happened. After a while, we just were like, no one's getting it. Let's just lean the shoulder into it and just be darkly sarcastic
about being the greatest band.
Yeah. So during shows, during a song, we were like doomy. But as soon as the song ended, I was like, of course you're clapping, obviously. Why would we waste our money on a URL that says thegreatestband.com if you wouldn't applaud after every song? You, though, you stop. You look weird. You know, like it became
There's
a
one at every
gimmick.
show.
I really like it. Yeah. Thanks, Bob.
My name's
it's
Chris.
Patricia. Sorry, Patricia. Anyway, but the idea is I probably would have went with that concept, but not pushed the band. Like I would have had the band as a secondary thing, and just tried to create a community in the music industry.
Gotcha.
However, if I knew what I knew now, I would have went straight into film and television, and ignored the teacher saying I shouldn't be a writer. That was the only reason I went full-fledged into art, and then in turn went full-fledged into music.
Because your teacher was like, oh, you can't be a writer.
You can't write. You have terrible spell. And then I found, once I heard every great writer has a much better editor. And I was like, whoa.
Oh, that makes sense.
No successful writer, this is true, no successful writer has a perfect finished product that has grammar and spelling and lacks spelling errors.
That's why they have the editor.
That's why they have an editor. Several, actually. You have like a line editor. You have a grammar editor. You have
what is a line editor?
Basically, a line editor goes through for like are you too many thes?
Gotcha.
Are you too many commas?
So that's more grammar.
No, the grammar would do like the functionality of sentences, but the line is basically they're counting words, like a line producer.
Gotcha.
They count the money, the beans.
Mm-hmm.
So a line editor for a book would basically go through and be like, "Are you duplicating yourself a lot? Why are you using a lot of articles? You're doing too much of the same thing." And they clean that up, and then a grammar editor would come through and
Okay, so would their grammar and spelling be separate as well?
I believe the spelling it goes with the grammar, but again, you can hire anyone to edit specific things. Like you could literally just be like, "Can you just count how many times I use the word the?" And an editor would be like, "Yes, it's this much money." And I think they're like 7 cents a word or something like that. Or 2 cents a word, depending on what it is. But
well, Stephen King, you can do like 2 cents a word and still get like 50 grand.
Stephen King has come out and says he can't spell. Man, you're writing like, "Hey Marge, how do you spell Capricorn? You are a Capricorn. We sound alike." Oh, I got a story idea. It.
I mean, Secret Window.
That movie was terrible. Johnny Depp and I'm not gonna give it away, but I can't stand Stephen King movies. Anyway,
except for Shawshank.
Let's go back to that wasn't really his movie though. It was completely rewritten because it was based on a short story, and they got a real writer to come in.
Going back,
I mean, Stephen King is a real writer, but he doesn't write screenplays, which is that's his downfall. Is he likes to have a little say in the screenplay, and when that happens, you get The Shining, the television series. It's just,
I have not seen it.
It's actually identical to the book, which makes it terrible. Anyway, once you start seeing like the bushes running around like animals.
Fair enough. What's going on?
Kubrick was like, "This is a horror. Let's make it a horror film." No, you need the animal bushes.
We need the bush.
All right, yeah. I'll put them in. Films them, cuts it out of the movie. Anyway, where were we?
1,000 fans and 10,000 fans.
1,000 fans, 10,000.
You got to earn your right.
You got to earn your right. So if you have the money to advertise, instead use that to build your brand and value. And the way you do that is ultimately become the truth in action. If you believe in something, if your morals, ideals, and missions mean something specific, do that. Put time and effort into that. Spend the money to make these things happen. Over time, people will just naturally and organically become aware of what you're doing, and they'll become interested in what you're doing, and ultimately they will buy into what you're doing, and of course you, and this means that they will become true fans. And we do this a few different ways. Ultimately, like I said, if you believe in helping the community, go help the community, but try to get press, not on you, but the event. But because you
on
called
the community,
them,
basically.
on the yeah, like let's say I'm going to go help. I'm going to do a food drive. So I use a contact in the press to say, hey, there's this food drive going on for Brooklyn. This is where it's taking place. Why don't you come down and do a story about the organization that's doing it? So now I'm pushing the organization and the mission and not myself. They come there and they go, hey, we're looking for Thomas J. Bellezza. He set up he wanted us to come do an interview. Oh, that's me. Oh, great. Is it all right if we interview you on camera for this thing? And we go, yeah, sure. And then you don't talk about yourself.
You talk about the mission.
Yeah, and you don't go, hi, I'm Thomas, and because they're going to say your name on the bottom.
And they're going to say what it is that you do at the bottom.
Yeah, they'll say what you do, but that's
Thomas J. Bellezza, official awesome dude.
Awesome dude.
Can that be your title, awesome dude?
Yeah, absolutely not. So that reminds me, JD.
This is my last show.
But in that situation, what's happening is you're putting the light on the mission, the purpose,
which is what people would connect to.
Which is, oh, they believe in that. Oh, I'm gonna. Who's this person, right? Oh, they're helping a cause, and obviously do it because you believe in it. Don't do it because you're like, hey, if I raise money for cancer, people will like me. Like, don't do that.
Do stuff that you wanna, you actually believe in.
Yeah, that you care about. Yeah, absolutely. But the idea is that the press is going to come. They're going to do the thing and that's going to definitely get the story. Now, what's the other thing that's happening is you're building a relationship with the news media, the press outlet, because you're doing them right. You sent them a good story that has nothing to do with your product, but has to do with a mission for the community. And now they might not
benefits everybody.
Benefits everybody. Now they might not be able to do a story on you, let's say, for your band or your movie or your book, but because you have a relationship down the line, they have a relationship with the person who does the reviews on the books, the movies, and stuff. So now you'd be like, hey, I'm releasing this thing. I was wondering, oh yeah, absolutely. I'll introduce you to, Melissa, and she does reviews or she does interviews for new authors, whatever the case may be. And that's your goal, is put time and money into marketing your brand, not advertising, but marketing, because that means that you're basically designing a brand to build awareness. So when you put money into marketing, it means that you're ultimately doing things to build and cultivate that brand message by truthfully doing what it is you believe in.
So basically at the core of it is you're networking with your audience as a whole with the marketing.
No. What is networking?
But you're building and cultivating a relationship.
Impossible. If I'm not talking with you, hanging out with you, spending time, or doing things for you, I can't build that relationship.
But if you're small enough, like if you're just starting out, like you're that, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids in a garage, just starting out, how is it different? Like how is it not literally directly networking with everybody? Or even if it's, online? Because you have the ability, you have the time, you have the means to communicate with those fans.
You think social media is networking?
I don't think social media is networking. I think you have the ability through social media to communicate.
Yeah, but what is it that builds and cultivates the relationships? If I'm talking to people through social media,
it is taking the time to actually interact with them person to person.
Nope.
Oh, then I don't know.
Well, what's the first rule of building and cultivating a relationship?
I do not recall.
It's all about them, not about you. So when you meet somebody, you get more out of that relationship when you can introduce somebody else to them, and you don't benefit from it. Now you're cultivating that relationship. You're doing for them. What you're talking about, where you're just like, hey, I saw you doing that thing. Awesome. That's still, you're just marketing. You're just letting people know you exist because you're interacting. That's not really building. It's like seeing a post and saying, You're great. Hey, congratulations. Oh, wow, that's awesome. You did that thing. That's a really good album, right? That's marketing. You're a nice person. That's what that is. You're not cultivating a relationship.
Well, my question go to further that is, what if you start actually building like actual friendships with people that way over time? Is that possible?
I'm going to go on record saying it's impossible to build an actual relationship with somebody if the only thing you comment is congratulations.
Well,
you're awesome.
I agree. I'm
Yeah,
saying
right.
over time, though, you can.
Over time, 10, 20 years of that will not build a relationship.
That you're not letting me.
All right, go ahead.
You're saying that's the only thing that's happening. I'm saying.
Well,
like,
what is it you're doing?
what is it I'm saying? What is it I'm trying to say is that if you initially start off just commenting and interacting, and that eventually turn into actual genuine conversations, and it moves to like you're able to talk to people like through private messages and like get to know them, does that not count as networking?
Yeah, but that's not marketing. You're not networking because of marketing. Marketing does not lead to networking. Networking is a choice. It's proactive.
Gotcha.
If I meet you at a show, that is not networking, right? But if after the show I'm like, hey, do you want to hang out? Or, hey, I noticed you're doing this thing. I'm going to introduce you to this person. You're choosing to network with them in that situation. But meeting them at a show does not create networking. You have to choose to network. You have to choose to put time and effort into somebody.
I see what you're saying.
They don't put time and effort into you to build a relationship.
Because it is not somebody else's responsibility.
Yeah, rarely will you meet somebody that's like, nice to meet you, and then hear from them. When's the last time that actually really happened? And that's without you being the most active in that,
Yeah, that's very rare.
It's very rare because people don't care. They don't care. They care if you're present. The more time you put into somebody and people, the whole theory, be seen, be present. That's because, people forget, and out of sight, out of mind, right? But how can you help me? That's how you build a relationship, right? But if I'm the one thinking, how can you help me? I'm not going to build a relationship with you. But if I think, how can I help them? Now their desire of how can you help me is being fueled.
And they're like, oh, I like that person.
I like that person. But marketing will never create networking. Networking is a choice from you. You cannot be relying on other people to network with you.
You have to be the one networking with other people.
That's right. Because everyone's allowed to break the rules except for you, because you're the one who wants to be successful. However, networking is different than marketing. The moment a true fan becomes a friend through networking, they are no longer a true friend, and you can take them off the list.
You mean no longer a true fan?
True fan.
I see what you're saying.
Your friends and parents are not true fans.
Because they're friends.
And
family.
Yeah, they cannot be true fans. They have too much of a bias.
I see what you're saying.
They could be fans, but a true fan isn't going to go to your birthday party. You know what I'm saying? Because now you went past the purchase aspect of it and became more of a social aspect. And now that's networking. So now you're cultivating a relationship, and honestly, you're taking away. All right, here's an example. Let's say you go to a bar, and I know you've done this. You go to a bar, you see a hot bartender. What's the first thing you do?
You go to the hot bartender and you order a drink.
And now you are no longer in the running to be anything more than a customer.
Because you've entered the
commerce. You've entered the relationship of commerce. Now her job is to, because of the supply and demand, the demand created the supply. Now she's going to be nice to you. Now she's going to sell herself, so you keep buying
from her,
and not the other bartender or the other two bartenders.
And nobody wants to go to Tim.
People always ask me, how do you become friends with so many hot bartenders? I go, first of all, I'm not trying to get in their pants. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but I'm not trying. And second of all, I don't order anything ever at any establishment I perform at. And the reason is because if I buy something, I have no value.
Because you have entered into a different relationship. You've entered into the customer relationship, and you're not a peer.
Correct.
/ coworker.
Like when I work at comedy club, I don't buy food or drinks. They give me food and drinks. If I'm doing a show, I get drinks and food.
Yeah.
Right. The moment I pay for it, well, then I'm not performing here. Now, not saying like in the beginning, that's not going to be the way it is. But honestly, if you're performing somewhere, you're performing.
You're working.
Yeah. They're supposed to, like one of the things, if I ran a show, I would have like pizza and like sodas and waters. because I want to feed everybody.
And also, you believe in pizza.
Yeah. I mean, they wouldn't be able to eat the pizza.
They can at least smell it.
Yeah. Like, you ordered 6 pies. I was hungry. I've been here for like 30 minutes.
Have you ever thought about
Yes, every day.
creating like a little altar somewhere for like the worship of pizza?
So earning the right to push. Of course I have. What do you think our
What do you think's
refrigerator-
behind the curtain?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is sauce. This is a wall of sauce. Anyway.
It was a white curtain.
How many followers? How many people are watching? I can't see.
We got 0 right now.
So what is that? Like 2?
That is.
All right. Anyway, so let's just run through what we talked about. Again, the 1,000 True Fan book. I recommend you read that. It is called The Technium 1,000 True Fans. It's written by Kevin Kelly. A very good book. A very good book.
Do we have this in the library?
No, in our library?
Yes.
We do not.
Then
We do not. But it is a good book.
Yeah.
I read it from someone else. Like
then
I
I
bought
have
it
to
from
get myself a copy.
And the other thing we meant, the reason you want to do that is because obviously if you could sell to 1,000 true fans, which by the way is 10, that was what I was trying to get at. It's 10% of your 10,000 fans. And the rule of thumb in business is if you could get 1% of the audience to buy into you, you're successful. So if 100,000 people are in your market, what's 1% of 100,000?
1,000.
1,000. So the rule of 10% in marketing is awareness, interest, sales. So you're trying to get 10% of people who are aware of you, which is 100,000 people. So 10% of 100,000 is
10% of 100,000 is 10,000.
10,000. So that's the aware. And then the interest is 10%. So 1,000 people are interested in you. That means they may or may not buy.
Mm-hmm.
And then ultimately that sale is.
I see what you're saying.
You see? So you want, if you could sell to 1,000 people, that's your 10% of your 10,000 true fans, which is a good thing. However, if you can get 10,000 true fans, you've now earned the right to put money into advertisement. If you're going to have money spent on anything, spend it on marketing. Marketing is ultimately designing your brand, and you want to put money into building that in your community. So you build awareness, interest, and sales, right?
So basically, I need to put all my money into designing a custom JD Beanie Baby.
Yeah, if you could just stop talking. Now, a Beanie Baby actually would be a terrible idea. You know what's funny, though? If you had 10,000 fans, anything you designed would be a good idea.
Oh, God, I'm terrified about a JD Beanie Baby now.
But why is that true, though?
Because anything that I would put out, they would just be like, oh, my God, this is amazing. Because they've already bought into whatever it is that I believe in. And I'm
you're guaranteed 1,000 sales out of that. Guaranteed. So if you have 10,000 true fans, you're guaranteed 1,000 sales minimum. So if you make Beanie Babies and you sell them for $10, you just made 10 grand.
That's a lot of money for JD
minus
Beanie Babies.
Expenses. But my point is, you're more than likely going to sell at least 6,000 of that 10,000.
That's crazy.
You're guaranteed that 1,000, and you have to think like that. And when bands or actors or writers, they go, if I create a CD, that's going to build my fanship because they need to connect to something. That's how they think.
And they think that basically the moral that you're trying to get here is that people, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah, maybe,
is that artists put the emotional connection into the product as opposed to what it is that the product stands for, what the overall mission really is. Am I correct?
Almost, because you said what the product stands for. The product stands for nothing but pay me.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say is that artists, when they create something, they assume that people are just going to see the product in the way that they see it and not necessarily focus on what message they imbued within the product, why they made it.
Well, they think the product is the brand.
Yes, that's what I'm implying.
Yeah, like a band goes, the CD represents us. An actor goes, this movie represents us. A writer goes, this book represents me. Right? The problem is now you have the next one. And we run into this situation. You ready? For actors, your first movie's a horror flick. You push and push and push and push and tell people to see my horror flick. Then your next movie is a romantic comedy.
I mean, that's scary.
But you know what I'm saying? At that point, what are you doing?
you're confusing your audience because you're like, oh, this is a thing. This is a different thing.
Yeah, you just spend time and money advertising to come to see my horror flick, and everyone who loves horror is like, oh, you're the horror person. You're in a film. They'll just see that you're in a film and they'll think the next one's a horror flick. Then they go there
And they're like,
and it's a romantic comedy, and they're like, you duped me. And it's the same thing with music. The first album's gonna sound, even if every album's a heavy metal album, or jazz album.
Bands, change over time. It's just you're a
They
person.
evolve, yeah.
You naturally grow.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're Stephen King, where every book is basically the same book.
Don't talk to me.
Well, how many Dark Tower books are there?
8.
Great. And it is in the Dark Tower universe?
It is in the Dark Tower universe.
Yeah. What else is in the Dark Tower universe?
The Stand.
Every book. All right, anyway.
But they're all different.
Yeah, different
stories.
They are different and different genres. Some of them are the genre of crap.
Hearts in Atlantis is also in the Dark Tower thing, but that's definitely a completely different vibe than it.
All right. Listen, he writes amazing.
The Shining is technically in it.
Look, The Shining it was started off because he doesn't actually do outlines. He just writes from the seat of his pants. So the book, The Shining, actually started off as somebody who was a shoe shiner.
Ooh.
And ultimately, they were like, I want to be more than that. Right. And then he was like writing that story, and it really wasn't going where he wanted to, because he was like, who shoe shines? This movie takes place in the 80s. So he took that original character who was like a kid who was a shoe shiner and turned him into the black character that has the psychic abilities that connects to the little kid.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, I made all of that up. But it seems about right.
This is Thomas's last show, everybody.
Yeah. Thank God.
I've been trying to get fired for months.
So the problem is, though, a band will create a song or an album, right? Mm-hmm. 7 songs, and the next album won't be those 7 songs. There'll be new songs. And the same thing with a book. If I write a book, even if I write 6 fantasy books in a row,
they're all going to be different.
They're all different. Hopefully, they're all. You're not going to just rewrite the same story.
Although that would be really funny. Why don't you just use the same manuscript to get it published? No, I wanted to write it out again.
Yeah, I changed a few periods to commas. Like even my first 3 books in the Maven story, the first one is from Devious's perspective, and the second one's from Maven's perspective, and then the third one is from a complete. It's the conclusion of the story. What happens after both of those stories.
So 1 and 2 are basically
at the same time. Well, no, because Maven's story starts before Devious is born.
But like overall, the main part of it, they overlap, and then there's like a little bit of
correct. Yeah, there's but what we see through Devious, we don't see in Maven's story. We don't see the development of Maven's armies, and
you see those from their perspective. Like was it Orson Scott Card with Ender's Game and Ender's Shadow?
Yeah, exactly. Where Ender's Shadow is that little kid that and
it starts a little bit before Ender's Game.
It follows the story, but we're not seeing it from.
You're seeing everything from Bean's perspective and Ender's Shadow.
Beans. Anyway, but the point is, those are 3 different books, right? So I still have to establish a brand with my audience to release those books, and not because of the books, but because of me. And if people are interested in me, they're going to buy the book. Should I not write those books? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm writing those books no matter what, because as I build my brand, what happens? People go back and they buy the stuff that I had created. It's like when you find out Anne Rice wrote under a different pseudonym when she started.
I did not know that.
That's right. She had a different pseudonym. She still has a different pseudonym for, like, she writes like sexy books. Like,
well, wasn't she just doing that as Anne Rice for a while?
I think she now writes everything as Anne Rice, but there was a time when she was like writing like love book, like sex books.
Oh, like the romance novels.
Yeah, sex books.
Sex books.
But anyway, when she first started, she didn't think she was a good writer, so she just wrote under a pseudonym. Mm-hmm. But now you go back, all the fans of Anne Rice, they don't buy the books because of the name. They buy it because it's Anne Rice, and they're like, I like Anne Rice. I like what she stands for, and that's what your goal is.
And sexy vampires.
And sexy vampires. Androgynous vampires mostly.
And sexy vampires.
Oh, you find them sexy?
Listen,
what is it about Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt that you find sexy?
Probably the hair.
I mean, that's accurate. Now look with your vampire eyes. Oh, I don't know how to explain it. Statues moved but didn't. You've never seen the movie?
I have, but I don't remember the dialogue.
Oh.
Other than everyone yelling Louis every 5 minutes. Louis, Louis, Louis.
Louis, look what you've done. Great. You just burnt down our house. You know who's in that movie?
Tom Cruise, Antonio Banderas,
That's right.
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst. She plays Clarice. Claire? What's her name? Claire.
No, not
No.
Clarice. Clarice is Starling.
Yeah.
I think it is Claire.
I don't think it is Claire.
Oh, let's find out.
Look it up.
Let's look it
What's her name?
Vampire.
I think it is Clarice. Right? Right?
Let's see.
Let's see what it is. I'm thinking by the way, that was her first movie, and she does an excellent job playing like basically a 12-year-old to like 100-something-year-old or whatever.
IMDb.
Let's see. What's it say there, buddy?
It says
the other thing is that movie Interview with a Vampire is not like the book. In the book, they find like other vampires and there's like some cool stuff. And he ends up staying with Amon for a little bit, whereas in the movie, he's like, I'm not gonna stay. I'm gonna Claudia, that's it. We were both way off.
Yeah.
We were just.
It was still
It was a. You hold me this, Louis.
Kirsten Dunst.
If I do this, it'll be the last bit of humanity left in me. Then we are even, Louis. My dear Louis.
1994.
Jesus, how old were you? You were 6.
I was 6.
Wow, I was 16. That's
Grandpa.
insane. Grandpa, first Grandpa I see tonight.
Oh yeah, I forgot Christian Slater was in this movie.
Who?
Christian Slater. He's the
He's the interview.
Yeah. Look at that.
I know what it is you want. You want a companion. Turn me into a vampire. Is this what you want? You want to be food for the immortals?
I mean, kinda. Who doesn't?
I've been listening to him for centuries.
I love that you have like the entire dialogue memorized.
I don't have it all, but I have a lot of it.
That's because that photogenic memory you got.
I got a photogenic. Yeah, it looks great in photos. Looks great in photos. Just, but anyway.
My only question is:
What?
it digital, or do you have to like keep replacing the film?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Wait, what were we talking about? I have a memory like a brain. So you want to earn the right to push your creative products by doing these things, by ultimately putting money and time into developing your brand's message's awareness. And that awareness is through by doing it. Just physically do what it is you believe in.
Living your truth.
Live your truth. If you can't afford to do events, that's fine. Get involved with events.
Volunteer your time.
Volunteer your time
Everyone's
with
got
causes.
time.
That's right. If you can't do that, right? This is entrepreneur brain. Just let everything that you represent be influenced by these things. So for example, like on my on the makearightleft.here.com website, you'll see a prevent cancer link, and then you'll see like an MS link, and then another Cancer of America link. And it also says Laughter is the Cure, which is like a foundation that I created, right? Where we used to do comedy and like we'd raise money and stuff like that.
For cancer research.
For cancer and MS, depending. But more importantly, on there it says bypass me and our events and just give directly to these foundations. So my message is ultimately like, I believe in these causes. I believe that there should be a way to heal people with these sicknesses, but at the same time, I'm also saying it's not about the money. I don't want any of it. I don't want you to even support my events.
Just help.
Just give money to these people, which is a selfless kind of like message as well. Like I believe in helping others, right? So I do that. And it's little things like that that help people go, oh, this is who you are, Like if you go to Make a Right Left Here, literally the first thing you see is the traveling adventures of a resilient entertainer. That's my story. That is what Make a Right Left Here is about, is the traveling adventures of so your brand needs to be very clear in everything you do. And if you can't make your brand clear, you gotta think about what it is you stand for with your missions, morals, and ideals, and then write another list that basically says how to represent that, right? If like when people are like, well, I want to be known for being on time. That's not really what I'm talking about when it comes to brand messages. However, if you want to be known as somebody who's on time, what do? You
just show up on time.
Just show up on time, right?
All the time.
If you want to be someone that is considered, like, for the longest time, I was known as the person you can get in touch with. Like, if you reach out to me, if I missed your call, you were going to hear from me within 20 minutes. And it's because I was just that person. You called, I picked up. You text, I answered. You email me, I responded. You know, if I missed your call, I would call you back within a half hour. That was my goal. I did that, and everybody, you know, like if I didn't call back in 30 minutes, I would get a text. Are you okay? Is everything all right? Are you alive? Do you need me to save you? Because that's the thing. And I was always the person that was there first and last, and I left last, right? So again, one time I didn't wake up in time for a band practice, and I got up late and ran to band practice. As I parked in front, they were coming out, and I was like, "Oh, where are you guys going?" They're like, "We were coming to check on you." And this is before cell phones.
What the hell's a cell phone?
It's this thing that you eat.
Oh, yeah. That's
cell foam is actually it protects you from the
cement behind.
Yeah. What about your behind?
Oh.
Anyway, so when paying for advertisement, to know if advertisement's worth it, like a Facebook ad or a Google ad, everyone's going to push you to say that it is. If you're going to advertise, you literally have to set a budget for that and have it happen every month. That's it. If you are going
to
go
be consistent with it,
you got to be consistent. If you're not going to wait for your 10,000 fans, the moment you choose to pay for advertisement, you have to make sure you can afford it for the entire length of your existence until you reach 10,000 fans. Then you have to double your advertisement rate, right? Because you're playing the numbers game. That's all you're doing. You're just playing a numbers game.
Basically, you're shooting craps.
Yeah, but if you have 10,000 fans because you did all the marketing and branding and getting involved and people seeing you existing, doing your thing,
you've earned the right.
You've earned the right to advertise. That's right. So now you have to advertise. Why? Because people want to know what's going on. Because there's true fans. There's 10,000 true fans. So you need them to know that it exists. You know, they want that information. They want content, and content is different than branding. You know, like if you make a movie to build your relationship, you know, no one wants it. There's no demand for it.
Yeah, you're just making something.
But if people want it, you got to keep making. You got to be consistent with that, you know?
Like Kevin Smith.
Who's that? No. What's that? Kevin Smith, yeah.
He's built up his brand, so now people are just excited for a new Kevin Smith project.
Yeah, and that's why he's able to do speaking gigs. He makes a lot of money with that. He does he calls it comedy tours because he just tells stories and tells jokes.
Basically, it's just stand up.
It's stand up, but it's like not scripted. Like he's just like, what story am I going to tell?
Yeah.
And he just tells that story, and it's just memorized, like these experiences, which, by the way, builds brand relationship because he's talking about all the behind the scenes stuff, his opinions, his thoughts, his ideas, and people are relating to that. The other thing he does is he has a podcast. He has like several podcast shows. He's a writer. He's a script polisher. He's a producer. He does all these things, but he also helps out people. He's like outspokenly pro-vegan now, and not because like you shouldn't eat animal.
Well, he had that health scare.
Well, he died. Oh, he had a heart attack.
Yeah.
He got caught early, but they were like
he almost
he had what's known as the widowmaker.
Oh,
you know. But anyway, so he did it for health reasons, and of course his daughter was, trying to get him to become a vegan forever. And
I was like, fine, I don't want to die, I'll do it.
Well, he's like, I'll try it, and like,
and now he's like,
it's just easier. He's like, and he lost a lot of weight from it too. You could just, maybe I should try vegan. Let me try. Oh Jesus!
What just happened?
Who? Oh wait, we got Nate's back. Let's see what he has to say. Let's see. Okay. I was actually thinking about paying for Google Ads, but after watching this, my decision of not buying Google Ads. What we're for. Glad I watched this. Yeah, Nate. By the way, Nate has a podcast show, and he does reviews, and he also does inspirational, motivational things, and he's got some really good, very watchable videos.
And he's very funny.
He is very funny. But he does a thing called keyword association. So he'll review like a popular Japanese anime kind of like cartoon, and just the intro, and it's that brand association. It's called piggybacking, which is an actual thing. You're piggybacking on a brand, and that's a good way to kind of organically build without paying for advertising. So if Nate, somebody that spent Google ads to what's he saying? I can't see. Let's see what he says.
You guys make me blush.
Oh, that's funny. If he paid for advertisements for his videos, he would get people to his videos through the advertisement. The problem is once he stops with that,
that traffic would die off.
Yeah, because it would be per video, unless he did the advertisement for his channel.
So people just go to the channel overall.
They go to the channel, but now why are they going to the channel? In the advertisement, it has to be intriguing enough, clickbait, to get them to the channel. But what if the channel is not what the clickbait or the advertisement was meant to be? Now you lose that person. So yes, they're going to your channel, but by letting his brand get involved with what his channel is about, which is ultimately reviewing and motivational stuff,
and then using, like you said, the associated keyword research.
People will be like, oh, I like this Japanime stuff, and then they're like, oh, he does reviews on other Japanime things, and then and then he could start. But once you establish a fan base to your brand, you can now branch off to secondary brands. But in the beginning, you don't want those secondary brands to be completely different. You want to be in the realm. So for example, if, like, let's say you're a guitarist, your website, your YouTube channel might be, let's say it focuses on guitar reviews. Let's just say it's guitar reviews. Like,
okay,
you like reviewing different guitars because you're a guitarist, and
I just like to play wheedly.
Yeah, you love guitars and like what makes them work and the mechanics of them. Now,
the history
of them, right? The secondary aspect of that brand might be how to play guitar, right? Or reviewing guitar players, or interviewing guitar players. And now that's like a secondary brand. A tertiary brand outreach might be something a little bit more abstract, like you playing music. So you doing running through a song. But this is because you started with reviews.
Because you're saying that the reviews would be the thing that people are looking for, because they're looking for information on whatever it is that
they're looking
keyword is.
But playing a playthrough, like it's you just playing one of your songs or someone else's song. Now that's a whole other thing, but that's abstract to the reviews, because now it's about you, and it's about your music,
and it's not about the thing that I'm highlighting or the person that I'm highlighting.
Yeah, because even if you did like how to play guitar, you're still talking about the guitar, like how to use a guitar, the review of the guitar, how to use the guitar, people who use those guitars, the theory, but also you might be able to talk about a secondary might also be like literally breaking down pickups. How pickups work.
The science.
A secondary might be how to build the guitar, because it's in the realm of reviewing guitars. But those abstract ones are basically when it starts getting a little bit more, when it steps literally away from the guitar, because a playthrough is about the song and not necessarily, unless it focuses on you doing stuff with the guitar, and that's the highlight. So like Stevie, what's his name?
Or what about like when you see like EMG or like Schecter or Yamaha, they'll have like a highlight video, and they'll be like, here's like a couple minute long video of like a playthrough. But as they're doing the playthrough, they'll be like, oh, it's got EMG 808s, and they'll talk about it.
That's not a playthrough then. That they're doing that to highlight the instrument and not necessarily the song. The song is just sort of,
they're just like, oh, you see and hear it in action, but while you're doing that, you get the close up of everything and the information as to why.
And what it is.
So that's still a highlight video.
That's still a highlight.
Gotcha.
But then you could go to something crazy though. Now you could do like
fire.
You could start you could show you recording. But you have to grow to those levels. You have to earn the right to change your brand a little bit. You can always enhance your brand's inclusion. For example, you mentioned Gaga, Lady Gaga. She started in music. Well, she started as a writer, and then she went to being a performer, and then she went from being a musical performer to an actress. So she's expanding her brand. And by the way, her true fans will follow her through that. And then she'll gain new fans from those areas.
And she's also got the other stuff too, where she's got like she's got her mental health foundation, and she also has her the makeup thing.
Yeah, those would be extensions of her brand. And that's how you do it, But you don't want to do it too much and too drastically, and also you don't want to change drastically. Let's say, you're known as a musician and then you stop music cold and then you just start acting. That's not going to be as good as, say, you're doing music and then like there's a movie or you do like a Saturday Night Live thing, or you do like a guest appearance or just a small part in a movie, not necessarily
like James Hetfield doing that one thing.
Well, James Hetfield has done many things, but
I'm just
he
saying,
started actually with a film of a documentary of his band. So before he was like doing acting.
Was that the year and a half in the life of Metallica during the Black Album?
Yeah, the Black Album. That was technically his step into film.
I didn't say anger. Oh, Some Kind of Monster.
Some Kind of Monster, which was just another version, just a more intimate documentary.
That was a really good documentary.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I like when Lars like yells at James in his face because he decided to get like treatment for his alcoholism. He's just like, I just want to punch you. Rah! And James is just like looking at him. And he's thinking, I'm literally 3 times your size.
And he's like,
you play tennis.
Wasn't Lars' dad like a famous tennis player?
So was Lars.
Really?
Yeah, he was like a young champion, I believe.
That's funny. I did not know that.
Look that up. Yeah. Lars
Ulrichs.
Ulrich.
Lars.
Tennis. Isn't he from like where is he from? Like, Holland? Yeah. He had a failed tennis career, but he was doing well.
That's funny.
Yeah. He played tennis in his youth and moved to Los Angeles to train professionally. However, rather than playing tennis,
he's actually taller than I am by 2 inches. Apparently.
He's 5'6". He's a tiny. Look at his father. His father looks like Rasputin.
Oh my God, he does.
Right? Doesn't he?
Wait, that's the one I'm looking at.
He totally looks like Rasputin.
Dude, look at baby Lars. What the hell?
Let me put this on the screen. This is funny. What's this? I can't see the screen. Can you look at what to share? Is it this one or this one? This one? All right, and then I want to do just the Google tab. This one. This one. Okay, here we go. Boop. Hey, look at him. He looks like Rasputin.
So basically, Rasputin didn't die, even though he was shot like 40 times, poisoned.
I know, right? Maybe
stabbed.
See, look, he loves. This is Lars. He loves tennis. Even playing with Metallica, he's a tennis guy. Is his father teaching him? You will be a tennis player. And you play tennis. No, Dad, I'm gonna be a drummer. What? You will play tennis. Look how old he is.
That's crazy.
Let's see. This is his father, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is his father. Look at him. Look at his leg muscles. Jesus.
He should have been a drummer.
Jesus.
Sweet holy mother of Jeebus.
Oh, here's John McEnroe. That guy was aggressive on the court. Anyway.
Were you good at tennis?
Wasn't I good at tennis? No.
Whack the ball.
I tried tennis, and then I was like, this is stupid. What I was good at was like football. I was good at track and field. I was good at wrestling, but no one would let me be on the teams.
Why?
Apparently, you can't show up dressed up as a wrestler. Like I would come in with like, Undertaker music and practices. No,
that'd be really funny.
No, what really happened was they don't like you being good, right?
Wait, what?
And I would use my martial arts training. And you start in first position where you crouch down and someone's like on top of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're like, all right, go. And then the person couldn't move me because I can lock my body in a way where I'm just, there's
You're
nothing
locked.
you can do. And the coach would be like, you got to put a move on him. I was like, it's funny to watch him exhaust himself.
And then you just go.
Yeah. So they didn't let me be on the team. They were like, you can't be on the wrestling team.
It seems like it would be a tool because you would be good.
People couldn't beat me, and I was like a nobody, and like that bothered them. And football was the same way. Like I was faster, and I was faster than the captain of the team, so they didn't like that.
Because you didn't want to do it professionally. You're just like, I'm having fun.
I actually, in my mind, I was like, because I really loved sports at one time in my life, and then I was good, but then I was like, you got to memorize plays.
Like, I just want to play.
I was like, I go at that guy. I can knock that ball out. I was so fast that I was an inside linebacker, and I would run around the field the opposite way and still tackle the quarterback without going through the line.
You'd be like,
I ran around the line. and I was catching them. I did it. I was so good that when we played Brentwood, they ended up the coach, our coach, put me in as a cornerback, which is basically on the right or left side.
You're in the corner.
I'm on the corner. And I was like, oh, but I'm an inside linebacker. And he's like, trust me. And I was like, all right. So he put me there. And I was like, he's the coach. I was running in like they were standing still, and I was just doom, and I was second string, so I got to play after everybody did, and I led the season, all teams. I had the most sacks.
That's insane.
And I played 4 games out of 6. Okay. Anyway, so I was doing it. They ended up putting 2 huge people on me, and I was like, I can't get around them because they would just,
It's like, well, if they catch me,
yeah, But anyway, so what else was I? I was good at baseball. I was good at what else did I play? Hockey. I played hockey.
Were you good at ping pong?
What?
Ping pong.
Oh, I loved ping pong. Yeah, I was really good at ping pong.
We should get a ping pong table.
I played this girl that I was dating in ping pong, but she was like quote unquote the best at everything. Even though like until we did it, she was great until we did it. And so she asked me if I was good at ping pong, and I was like, not really. I rarely ever play, which was true. I rarely do ever play. And she's like, well, let's play. And I was like, okay. And I start doing all these trick shots and like spinning the ball and like, but I'm like playing like crappy in the beginning, and she's like, and she started gloating. So then I was like, all right. So I destroyed her.
So basically we've established you hate gloating.
Yeah. Because it like, play the game.
Yeah. Have fun.
Yeah.
You're going to gloat.
Yeah, as soon as you're like, I'm beating you, you suck. All right, well,
It's like,
I look like Tom Hanks, in Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah, where he's like,
yeah, because I would do like the soft hits, like bunk, 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 and then I'd be like, whoosh, and just hit it really hard. The other thing I would do is I would do like little taps, so like it would come and I'd go to smash it, and then I'd be like, boop, and it would just go bink, right? Can't double bounce, so you lose it. Anyway, where were we? Oh, let's call it a day. Let's conclude what was going on here. So, so to earn the right to push your creative products, and when it is paying for advertisement worth it, let's just go over the bullet points real quick. So, earning the right to push your product, you have to get 10,000 true fans. Okay. Ultimately, because 10% of that is 1,000, and if you sell 1,000 of anything, it's good money. It's just.
Yes.
Right. A true fan is not the same as a fan. A true fan is literally somebody
who'll
buy anything. Like the person who bought a Kiss casket is a true fan. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm dying with the inside a Kiss casket. Right? Well, I'm going to be buried. I'm not gonna. You know what?
Bury me in here.
I want to die in the. Anyway, so.
I want to be alive to enjoy it.
You want the 10,000 true fans because then you're guaranteed those 1,000 true fan sales, right? No matter what. However, you may sell up to 6,000 or more, but you're guaranteed that 1,000. The other thing is all money should be pushed into marketing your brand. Marketing is different than advertising. Marketing is building and cultivating a brand. You got to design that brand, right, to build awareness, which creates interest that ultimately generates sales so people buy into your brand's message. And we do this by being proactive and getting involved. So spend money getting involved. How do you push your causes, your missions, your ideals, and your morals, right? Become your truth. And then when it comes to advertisement, once you hit your 10,000 true fans, now you have earned the right. You've earned the right to ultimately pay for advertisement because people want to see that you're doing things so they can consume it because the demand is there. So supply and demand is based on, getting to that point where people want to know you're doing stuff. So if you have 10,000 true fans and you're not supplying them with content or the advertisement about the content, you will actually lose your fan base. So that's like when people stop performing or they go, I'm going to take a break. And then it's harder for them to come back. It's because you need to basically spend if you're successful and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you take a year off, it's going to take you 2.5 years to get back to where you were.
Because you've literally just stopped doing anything.
Yeah.
People are like, oh yeah, out of sight, out of mind, which goes back to what you were saying before about like similar thing with networking. It's not other people who their responsibility. You have to be seen and be present. Yeah,
it's your job to let people who want to see you. It's not their job to seek you out, though they will try to seek you out. But if they're seeking you out and you're not giving them anything back, they're going to give up. They're going to be like, oh, they're done, so I'm done. But also that 2.5 years, you will never be back to where you were fully. It's just like a sword. If you keep sharpening the sword itself is eventually going to lose its integrity. So you have to think of your career as the same way. Once you get to that point where you have 10,000 true fans, you got to fuel their interests and their want to buy you. So
give them fuel, give them fire, give them that which they desire.
Sounds better than the Ara Levine version. Your goal with advertisement will always be that you want to pay to get people who want to see it to see it. That's right. Well, we got some things going here. What we got here? You guys make me blush. Oh, we got a new voice. Who's this? Yo, what is up? Ave MC. I love it. And then of course, who's this? Agreed. Who?
This is Ava Mick.
Ava Mick. Well, it's MC. Like
yeah. Maybe it's a rapper.
Oh, I'm in. Anyway, so that's basically how you earn the right to push your creative products. Artists usually go the opposite way. They try to push their products before they have a fan base, but you need to grow your fan base. Products do not create fan base. Marketing your brand's message creates a fan base. That's why if you play shows to an empty crowd, the reason is
no one knows that you exist.
Yeah. And if you tell people to see you, unless they're friends and family, they don't want to see you because they don't have an attachment to your brand. They have no emotional interest in seeing that. That's why, like, if a band that you love ends up touring and it's like the first time they've toured in that area, you're going to be like, it's a state away, but I'm going. It's the same thing with a movie. When a movie's coming out and you're like, oh, Marvel's coming out with a new movie. You don't even know what the movie is. It just says to be a TBA.
And you're like, whatever it is, I'm going.
You're like, oh, March, there's going to be another Marvel movie. I wonder what it's going to be.
Already getting my pre-sale midnight release ticket.
Yeah, I'm going to get my.
What movie is it? I don't know.
I don't care. Oh, it's Captain Marvel. It should be good. This was terrible. Anyway, so your goal is ultimately that focus on building your brand relationship with the audience, and then once you reach your 10,000 true fans, you'll be able to afford the right to advertise and let them know what's happening. And now, when you make content, it's going to be very, very much for them. Whereas in the beginning, as we said earlier in the show, any content you create now is not to make money. Because realistically, again,
yeah,
like you said, I went to shows and they're trying to sell shirts for $20.
Demand.
There's no demand, right? But you should still create content. You should because you're practicing how to do it. But you should be getting people involved in that content.
You're saying at the beginning, Lil, it's not about the content. It's not about making the content to make money back. It's about, if you do make the content, it's about how are you able to interact with people? How are you able to make a community effort? How are you able to make it so that there's a bigger picture, not just
you want your content adventure to enhance your business. So how does making a movie or a CD or doing a comedy show or writing a book, how can I involve and elevate my responsibilities to run my business, which is how do I network better? How do I market with this thing? How do I practice with this thing? Not just how do I do it, but how do I learn the business? How does this help me learn the business? How do I manage my time, money, and the people around me? How do I use my entrepreneurial brain to find solutions by thinking outside the box and a proactive effort? How do I increase my talents while I'm working on it? What is it I'm having trouble with? What am I bringing to the table? Who do I know that can help me do this, right? Or what kind of qualities do I have, talents that I could bring to the table to help someone else do what it is I do and just volunteer my time? The other thing is, as you're making money, you should be organizing into security, growth, and dream, and obviously an emergency fund. And all these things are to eventually fuel your business, to give you the choice to say yes to things and no to things. A lot of people, especially in the entertainment industry, they think, I will make money doing what I love, and that'll afford my bills. But in reality, it's a business. So the person who owns a donut shop is not making $40,000 or $50,000 a month and just putting it in their pocket.
They're making $40,000 or $50,000 a month for the business to run the business.
And then they pay themselves a salary. So you should be looking at your acting career, music career, writing career, all careers like the same way. Just because I'm a consultant, I don't take my full fee into my pocket.
Yeah, it goes to the business so that you can run the business.
Goes to the business, right? That's just how any smart business would work. So
and
why
also the pizza fund.
pizza fund? Why would the entertainment industry and a performer be any different? And that's why you need to take your business seriously. However, that security, growth, and dream is allowing you to protect yourself in case you do go broke. The growth is so you can start investing in assets, so you can start developing passive income, and then ultimately the dream is so you can reward yourself. So you're not like, hey, I just made $5,000 on this film I worked on. I'm going to go on vacation. Well, that $5,000 needs to go into your business. You know,
you got to fuel the business.
Got to fuel your business. The other aspect though is the reason you try to develop assets by organizing your money and allowing it to work for you is because if you have wealth, which is the amount of time you could go without having to recoup income, you are ultimately giving yourself control. You're becoming your own boss. Bosses are allowed, by boss, I mean, we talked about this in another episode. Being a boss means that you can afford the consequences, good or bad, from any decision you make. The other thing is, if you're an actor, writer, musician, or anything, if you can't say yes, or you are not allowed to say no, you're not in control. And wealth allows you this opportunity. And what does that mean? Because sometimes you have to say yes to what you have to say yes to, but other times you have to say no to something that doesn't represent your brand. And if you're forced to say yes to something you would normally say no to, so you could afford your bills, you're not in control. That's right. So this is how you run your business and everything like that. But as far as earning the right to push your creative products, remember, focus on building your brand's message with your audience, and don't do this through content. Allow content to just be a vessel to do your job better and to grow your career and your business until you have earned 10,000 true fans. You will know when you have that, because if you have 100,000 people following you, what's 10% of 100,000?
10,000.
10,000, right? What's 10% of 10,000? 1,000. What's 10%? So it's 100. So now I know I do not have the right yet because I only have 100,000 people interacting with my brand on social media, right? So how many fans do you need to have 10,000?
A million.
A million. Because right? Because that's 10,000 true fans.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. It's a lot. But anyway, all right, that's it, man. I don't make this stuff up, and I'm Thomas J. Bellezza.
I'm JD McGibney, and I make up at least half of it.
Is that true?
I mean, it's half true.
It sounds made up. You know, I heard that 40% of the time JD is 100% accurately wrong. And what makes that upsetting is that I only have 60% proof. Anyway, all right. Let's. I guess that's it, right? We get to go home.
Yeah, and we also get to eat.
Oh yeah, we get to eat. Oh,
Nate says peace.
Peace out. Hey, if anyone's Nate is on here, follow his YouTube. I really love his content. I love his motivational stuff.
Yes, Nate, this is my last show.
JD's
It was nice knowing you.
By the way, before we go, with that comment,
branding.
That's branding, because I say
pretty
much
least
every
3 times a show.
And he just jumped on it, and that's he bought into that brand. But that's just funny.
That is really funny.
Anyway, much love and peace. Remember, don't work too hard, but be
productive.
All right, I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.